Hello, and welcome to Learn Premiere Pro today for the absolute beginner. In this tutorial, you will learn the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro, so you can start using it today. And if you do not have Premiere Pro, check out the link in the description that will take you to the Adobe website, where you can get started. Adobe Premiere Pro is available on monthly subscription, and if you're unsure, you can get started with a 7-day free trial to help you decide. In this tutorial, we will explore creating a project and importing media, Adobe Premiere Pro panels, video editing, basic animation, working with graphics, adding effects, and some useful tips. Hi, my name is Ehsan, and I will be guiding you through this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, and I will do my best to answer all your questions. And if you find this tutorial useful, please like and subscribe to the channel to help us grow, so we can bring you more amazing tutorials. Okay, let's get started. Section 1. Creating a project and importing media. When you start Adobe Premiere Pro, you will be presented with the home screen, and here, you can select any saved project that you have created previously, and you can open a project or create a new one. I will choose New Project. The next screen shows you a few options, and the top one is where you can type a name for your project. Just below that is the location on your computer, where your project will be saved. You can click the Browse button and choose a different location if you like. I will choose my media folder on Drive C. For now I will keep the rest of the options as they are and click OK. Adobe Premiere Pro will create your project and open the Editing tab. You will see 4 main panels where you can edit your new project. To get started, I need to import media into my new project, and if I click the Media Browser tab in the Project panel, I can locate my media for this project. I know they are inside my Media Files folder, so I will navigate to that folder, and once I am there, I will click on any file, then press Ctrl+A or Command+A to select all, then right-click and press Import. This will import all the media clips into my project panel. And if I double-click any of them, I can see a preview of that media file in the source panel. So, now that we have all the media clips imported, we can edit and arrange them inside our project. This concludes the section on creating a project and important media. Section 2. Adobe Premiere Pro panels. Any Adobe Premiere Pro workspace is organized into areas called panels. When you start Premiere Pro, you will be working inside the editing workspace, which you can access from the tab located above the panels. And you will see 4 main panels that you can use to create and edit your projects. The type and number of panels change for every workspace you choose. For this beginner's tutorial, we will work with the editing workspace, using the same project I created in the previous section. We will now explore the 4 main panels that make up the editing workspace. At the top left, we have the Source panel, also called Source Monitor, where you can preview any of the media you have imported, such as video clips, photos, audio, etc. At the top right, we have the Program panel, also called the Program Monitor, where you can view your current project sequence as you edit it. At the bottom left is the Project panel, where you can organize and work on the media assets that you have imported into your project, as well as any sequences you will create for this project. A sequence is like a container, where you arrange photos, videos, and audio. And in Premiere Pro, you must create a sequence so you can arrange your media. It is a good idea to organize your imported media in the Project panel inside folders. This will help you find whatever you're looking for easily, as well as save you time scrolling up and down your imported media files to find what you need. These folders are called bins, and to create a bin, click the folder icon at the bottom right of the Project panel. I usually create at least 3 bins for videos, images, and audio. And once I've created the media bins, I can click and drag the imported media clips into their respective bins. You can name your bin whatever you like, and also rename it by double-clicking the name or right-clicking on the bin name and choosing Rename. If you double-click any bin, you can see what's inside it. And in List View, you can click the little arrow next to the bin to expand or collapse it. At the bottom right is the Timeline panel, where you can arrange and edit the video clips and other media to create your project. In the bottom center, you will find the essential tools between the project and timeline panels. Notice that every panel has a menu, and some panels also have different tabs, and these tabs have their own menus. And you can also see which panel is active because it will have a blue border. By clicking and dragging the dividers between the panels, you can expand any panel, so you can have a better view of the content. And at any time you want to go back to the original layout of the editing workspace, click the Editing Workspace menu and select Reset to Saved Layout. Section 3. Video Editing. As mentioned earlier, you need to create a sequence before you can edit a video. And you can either click the File menu, New and Sequence, or right-click inside the Project panel, New Item, Sequence. You can also use your keyboard. Press Ctrl or Command+N, or you can click the New Item icon at the bottom right of the Project panel and select Sequence. In Premiere Pro 2022, you will be presented with the sequence presets and settings screen where you can choose the quality of the video. And by default, it is set to standard PAL video with 4:3 screen ratio. There are many different presets for DSLR cameras, and others, etc. I normally use Full HD video, which is 16:9 ratio for widescreen. This is normally referred to as 1080p. And this preset is available in the HDV folder. You can also select the number of frames per second, and I use the 30 frames per second, which produces a larger file size but better quality than a standard video. As soon as you double-click the preset you want, your sequence will be created in the project panel, and you will be able to add clips to it on the timeline. Now, I can double-click on a video clip in the project panel to add it to the sequence, and this will be displayed in the source panel. I can click and drag the whole clip to the timeline, or I can move the playhead to find the start of a portion of the video I want to add to the sequence, and press the I key on the keyboard. Next, I will move the playhead to the end of the portion of the video I want to use, and press the O key on the keyboard. This will set the in and out points of the video portion that can be added to the sequence. Now, I can click on the video screen and drag it onto the timeline, and this will add only that portion in the sequence. This will be easier to work with on the timeline. You may get a warning that the video clip does not match the sequence settings, either because of the resolution, ratio, or frames per second. I will choose to keep the sequence settings so I can produce a full HD 1080p video. If your video includes both video and audio, and you want only one of them added to the timeline, you can click and drag this icon for the video, or this icon for the audio. As soon as your selection is added to the timeline, the program panel will display your selection. And although both your source and program panels may look identical, the video in your program panel is only the part you selected, while the source panel contains the complete video that you imported. Now, you can click and drag the timeline playhead to scrub through your selected video. And if you place your cursor at the beginning or end of your video, you will see an icon showing you that you can increase or decrease the size of the video in the timeline. This is limited to the size of your imported video. You may click and drag the navigation ends that look like rings to zoom in and out in the timeline, as well as click and drag the navigation bar to either end of the timeline. You can also use the tools in the toolbar to edit your sequence. If the toolbar is not available, or you accidentally remove it, you can go to the window menu and select Tools to display it. By default, the Selection tool is selected, and you can use it to move clips. Click and drag sections to move them, or extend and resize clips. Working on the timeline, you will most likely use the razor tool, which allows you to split media clips so you can duplicate, rearrange, or remove them from the timeline. I will now add another video, an image, and a music track to the timeline. And notice that Premiere Pro will add images on a video track, and the music on an audio track. These are labeled V1, V2, V3 for videos and images, and A1, A2, A3 for audio and music tracks. When you have more than one video clip, you will have a hard transition between them when you play the videos. And you can use one of the many available transitions to ease the transition from one video clip to another. Click the Effects tab in your project panel and open the Video Transitions folder. Then, from inside any folder, click and drag any transition to where your video clips meet, and you will have a preview of the transition effect. If you want a different transition, just click and drag another one and it will replace the previous transition. Working with audio. You can control the volume level of your music track or any audio voiceover if you add either to your timeline. First, select the audio clip, and from the Effect controls, you can click the arrow next to Level and use the slider to increase or decrease the audio or music level. You can also use the audio clip mixer to adjust the volume slider, as well as pan the left and right audio channels if you need to control them individually. Notice the audio meter at the right of the timeline after you make any changes. By selecting the microphone icon on any audio track in the timeline, you can use any microphone to record voiceover. Use the M button to mute the audio on any track, or the S button to select only the current track. Section 4. Basic animation. If you move an image or a video above another image or video, then the one on the higher track will be visible on the front of the screen. In the Effect Controls tab, you can edit the motion, opacity, and time remapping. First, select the image clip on the timeline. Then place the playhead at the start of the clip. Click the position stopwatch to activate the image start and finish points. Then move the playhead to the end of the image clip on the timeline. Now you can change either the horizontal or vertical position, or both, to move the image in that direction as you play the video. Using the scale stopwatch and repeating the previous procedure, you can either zoom in or out as you play the video. Using the rotation stopwatch and repeating the previous procedure, you can rotate the image clockwise or anti-clockwise as you play the video. Using the opacity stopwatch and repeating the previous procedure, you can make the image transparent until it disappears. At the end of each effect control, you have these reset icons that reset all values to their defaults. And if you want to remove an effect completely, click the blue stopwatch icon. You will get a warning that the effect will be removed. Just click OK. If you want to speed up or slow down any video clip, right-click on the video clip and select Speed/Duration. You will now see the number 100%, which is the normal speed, and you can either reduce it to slow down the video speed, or increase it to speed up the video. If you check this box, you can play your video in reverse. This will be useful if you'd like to play a video clip, then have it reversed until it is back at the start position. To do that, First, duplicate a video clip and add it to the end of the original clip. Then right-click on the duplicate clip. Select speed/duration and check the play video in reverse. Finally, play the video from the start of the original clip. We will now explore how to animate a logo. I will import the logo for LearnFastic channel. But first I will open my images folder, so the logo will be stored in the correct folder with my other images. I will click the media browser and select my logo, then right-click and press import. I will click and drag the logo onto the V2 track in the timeline. Then, I will move the playhead to the beginning of the timeline. I will double-click the logo in the program panel to make it active, and this will display the transform controls around the logo. Next, I will open the effect controls and click the arrow to expand the motion panel. Notice the X and Y positions where the logo is located, because I will be using the Y location to animate the logo to the same position. Next, I will click the stopwatch icon next to position, and this will create a keyframe point where the logo is at. I will hold the Shift key and drag the logo up until it disappears from the screen. Holding the Shift key will keep the animation movement in a straight line. Next, I will move the playhead to 1 second, and click to change the number of the Y position to the original number where the logo was, at the center of the screen. This will bring the logo back to the center, and create another keyframe where the logo is, at 1 second. Basically, this means at the start of the sequence, the logo is above the screen, and after 1 second, it will drop to the center of the screen. If I double-click to highlight the logo again, you can see that there is a cross inside a circle at the center of the logo. This is difficult with this logo because it is mainly the same color. This is called an anchor point. Now, I will click the anchor stopwatch and the rotation stopwatch to create keyframes at this point. I will move the playhead to around 1 second 30. And this will create another keyframe at this position. If I double-click to highlight the logo again, and click and drag the anchor point to the top left corner of the logo, then the logo at this position will be anchored at its top left corner instead of the center. I will change the rotation position to 45. This will rotate the logo at its top left corner by 45 degrees. I will move the playhead to 2 seconds 20. And this will create another keyframe at this position. I will change the rotation back to 0, and this will animate the logo at the same anchor position back to its original position. Now, if we play the sequence from the start, the logo will drop to the center of the screen, turns clockwise by 45 degrees at its top left corner, then goes back again to the center. You can click Ctrl and select keyframe points together, then move them closer or away from previous or next keyframe points, and this will increase or decrease the duration of the animation. Longer time makes the animation slower, and shorter times makes the animation faster. Section 5. Working with graphics and titles. To add text to your video, place the playhead on your timeline at the point where you want the text to appear. Click the text tool at the bottom of the toolbar, then click inside the program panel where you want to place the text, and start typing. Click the Effect Controls tab, and you can change the text color, stroke, font, size, alignment, letter spacing, as well as center the text horizontally and vertically. As we did previously, you can also use all the effect controls to apply animation, rotation, zooming, and opacity to the text. Once you have made all the adjustments you like to your text, it will be shown as a graphic on the timeline. And you can click and drag the end of the text clip to control how long it is displayed on your video. One thing that you can use with your text, and almost every element you introduce in your videos, is adding a cross-dissolve transition at the start and end, which adds a fade in and fade out effect to the text. This gives the text appearance and disappearance a professional look. It has a fade in and fade out, as it is displayed on the video. You can also animate the text entrance onto the screen horizontally or vertically, using the same steps we explored while animating the logo. In this case, I will click to highlight the text. Click the Effect Controls menu, and click the Position stopwatch. Click and drag the X value, or type in the value, to place the text outside the screen. Then move the playhead to where you want the text to enter on the timeline. Then click to replace the X number with the original value at that point. This will animate the text entrance. To create a vector graphic, use the rectangle tool in the toolbar. If you click and hold the rectangle icon, you can see 3 shapes to choose from: a rectangle, an ellipse, or a polygon shape. If you hold the Shift key while drawing, you will constrain the ratio. For a rectangle, you will get a square, for an ellipse, you will get a circle, and for the polygon, you will get a polygon with perfect sides. With the polygon tool, you can choose the number of sides, which is set to 3 by default, and this will create a triangle. You can change the number of sides by expanding the Essential Graphics panel width, because this option is usually hidden to the far right. Once you created a graphic, you can select the Edit tab to change color, stroke, and other parameters, as we did with the text. You can also use the Pen tool to create your own graphics by clicking on the screen to create points, or clicking and dragging to create curves. Section 6. Adding effects. Adobe Premiere Pro comes with many video and audio effects that you can use, but it is important to remember that when you choose an effect, you may initially need to make some adjustments to the settings before you can see the effect working. Unlike video transitions, where the effect is already set to be used right out of the box. For this quick tutorial, we will not go deep into adding video effects, but rather make an introduction, so that you will know where they are located, and how you can use them. Then, it is up to you to experiment, and use your creativity, to come up with your masterpieces. This will save you time, as this tutorial will be much shorter. We have already explored using video transitions effects, which you can access from the Video Transitions folder. Now, we will open the Video Effects folder, and there are many effects that you can add to enhance your videos. Going back to the logo animation section, we will use a blur effect to make the logo pop as it drops down. Open the Blur and Sharpen folder, and find the Gaussian blur effect. Click and drag it onto the video track, where the logo will be animated. Click on the video track, and in the effect controls, you can see the Gaussian blur has been added. You can also see that the blurriness level is at 0, and we can increase it to a level we're happy with, and that will make our logo pop. Similarly, we can experiment with the rest of the available effects. Let's try the Lumetri color correction effect. After we drag it onto a clip, we can experiment with all the parameters in the effect control to find something we like. From the Essential Graphics menu, you can click the Browse tab to find ready-made templates to add motion titles, lower thirds, and credits. Section 7. Saving your project. To save your project with all the media and sequences you have created, click the File menu and choose Save As. This will save your complete Premiere Pro project, which you can reopen, as it is, at any time in the future. And when you have completely finished with your project, you can also render your project in video format that you can play, upload, and share. Go to File, Export, Media. Choose if you want the whole video or only a portion by dragging the in and out handles. Keep the format at H.264. For the preset, you can choose any that suits your needs. I usually choose YouTube 1080p. Click the output name to name the video, and choose where to save it. Check maximum render quality. And finally, click Export. This will render your video in the location you have chosen. You can make further edits and export again if you need to. To get better at Adobe Premiere Pro, you need to try everything and improve your results by using it. If you've enjoyed watching this quick tutorial, please consider subscribing to help this channel grow so we can bring you more amazing tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to see you in another tutorial.